So far what we've been doing is focusing on the A minor scale, our natural minor scale, and our A minor pentatonic scale. Well, as you're probably already aware of, not every song is going to be in a minor key. We're going to have to play in a major, over a major chord progression. So we need to take a look at that. And that's what we're going to focus on in this lesson. So I'm going to bring the camera down and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So first off, we can take the simple pentatonic scale we've been using, or the A natural minor scale. And it can be either one. Doesn't matter which one you use, they all work fine. And we were focusing around the A's. And of course the arpeggios, if you're covering that. Or the triadic one. It goes up 3. Then that note here, but anyways, we gotta simplify this a little bit. So now to play the C major, guess what? You can play the same exact scale, either the pentatonic or the full scale. But instead of focusing around the A's, you're gonna focus around the C's. There's a C here, right where your pinky is located. Then over here on the G string, 3rd string, there's a C right here. And of course, since there's a C there, there's a C here. So when you're playing, you're going to focus around coming back to those notes. And you're not really going to, you're kind of, I don't want to really say avoid, because you can use this as a really good as a tension tone. And I'll show you that a little bit later on. But you want to kind of like shy away from this note right here. And if you think of your pentatonic scale, when we talked about that, we talked about how this note right here, that's your 4th, that's one you really want to be careful to not hang on for too long, because that can cause some tension. It's the same thing with if we focus around our C major, we're focusing around the C's. That note you want to be very careful of. Don't hang on there for too long. But now we're going to also add in this root right here, the A. This is for our root for our A minor scale. That is going to cause tension. Now this is going to be a little tricky, because you probably train yourself to keep coming back to that note. But you just want to make sure, as you're going through, just try the best you can to move past it and go to one of the other notes. As long as it's not that note right there, or this note. These two. And if you do land on it, just make it sound natural, like you landed on purpose, and then just do a little slide up or hit it again. Hit it a few times and make it sound like you did that on purpose to cause a little bit of tension, and then resolve to one of the other notes. So so let me just I'll play something really simple so you can see this, and then yeah, you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So here we go. Starting this root. See, I'm focusing around that C. C. Not the root, but the other note. That's what you want to do. You don't want to really go into this. You can hit. So that's an example of, there's a certain chord underneath. It sounded good and caused tension, but you got to resolve it to the root. Or one of the other notes in C. See if I just land on there? Didn't sound too good, did it? Oh, let's see. You gotta be careful of that. So, but I can do that. See how it sounded horrible a bit? But then I resolved it. It kind of worked. You gotta be careful of that. So that's why, let me just stop this. So that is why it's very important to be very careful of hitting this, because you can use that as tension, but then you got to resolve it. And so that's why at first it's probably good to just try to force yourself to think of this as a passing note. Get used to that. Then later on you can kind of, you know, then you can kind of gravitate towards one of the other notes. And by the way, there'll be certain chords within a progression, so you will notice at times maybe you land on that note, it fits. That's because there's a, you know, there was maybe an A minor chord thrown in there, or a chord that harmonizes well with that note. But generally you're focusing around C and its matching tones. And by the way, the matching tones are your C, your E, and then your G. So basically, you know, this is a good note. It's your fifth. Good note when you're playing the over to A. So that one's in common with both of them. So that's a good note to land on. It's there, there, and also here. Those tones. And then the way to remember that's the third of C. So C, D, E is third, E, F, G. This is the fifth. So a good way to remember this one is you have that root right there, you know, for your A minor that you're probably gonna, you have to get out of the habit of keep gravitating towards now. And that note right before it, that's actually chord tone for the C. So those are what you're going to want to gravitate towards. And so let me go ahead and do that again, and then I'm gonna start out by really focusing on those hitting those tones. So it's there, there, there. You might see me hit it over here. You got your root here, right here is the third. There's your seventh right here, your G, and then there's your root again there. So at first, you know, if you just focus on playing around, using your ear, and kind of gravitating towards those C's, that's good. If you want to jump to the next level and start targeting tones, you can do that also. I don't really have to demonstrate the C's because, you know, you're kind of using your ear, but I'm going to demonstrate the chord tones. And I'm going to again go back in and show you how you can use that A to cause tension. And there's actually some of the other notes you can use to cause tension too. So let me go to that and I'll show you. So here we go. Start on C. Now on my 7. Root. Now back to my third, my E. Root. Then my fifth. Then my fifth again. That was a lot of pentatonics. Third, my root, my fifth, third, my root. And now I'm going to kind of use that tone for tension, and I'm going to probably use this tone for tension too. So you get it right. Little tension. I can go. Tension. Then I resolve it. See, it that doesn't sound too good on its own. But if I bring it down to the root, tension, then I resolved it. Doesn't sound too good, but if I do that and I resolve it, then I resolve it. See how I did that? So you can actually use those notes, the A and then the fourth right here. You can use those and cause tension, but you know, and it builds excitement. It actually sounds really cool when you do that, but you got to resolve it. You know, you can't just sit there and kind of treat it as, there you go, that's our target tone. So if you never resolve it there, then it's going to sound sour. You've got to make it part of like a phrase, or you cause some tension, you know, and there it is sitting there, and then boom, you resolve it to an actual tone, one of the C major tones. So again, there you go. There's a little lesson on using your either your A minor pentatonic or your A minor natural scale, but focusing around the C and its chord tones, and now you can play that same scale but over a major chord progression. And then yeah, so we'll talk about bringing this into different keys in another lesson, but for now, focus on that. And again, if you're not up to doing all the chord tones within there, then just grab your C, you know, figure out where all those C's are, and just start jamming, kind of use your ear. And if something doesn't quite sound right, cause tension, move to the next note, you know, just find that other note that sounds good. And it's usually going to be the next note down or the next note up that's going to work pretty good. You know, you have to use your ear for that. And then as you get a handle on that, you can start focusing on trying to figure out where all the chord tones are within this scale and starting to try to target those. And then also using the third step is using the other tones as your tension tones. And again, your biggest challenge right now is probably going to be avoiding constantly moving to that A over and over. So you're going to have to work that out. And remember, the A is a tension tone, but a chord tone is right down, right before that. So if you hear, you know, and it's like, I hit that again, just move down here, and you got a chord tone for the C. So, yeah, work on that. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll keep moving along. All right, we'll see you in the next one.